one of the most exciting parts of Silver Tempest is that now we have multiple ways of building decks, and today we're going to focus on one of those. Hey, Nick from 9Card TCG. Obviously, we're going to focus on a deck, right? I don't... We're going to be talking about a deck from Silver Tempest, and there's just... It is true, there are multiple ways of building decks. You have Arceus, you have Lost Zone, you have the plain vanilla way of doing things. Now we got Lugia. There's so many different ways we can do this deck, and today we're going to be looking at an Arceus variant of none other than Regidrago VSTAR. Of course, you knew that before you clicked on the video, probably. I don't know, maybe you just click things for the sake of doing it. If you did, awesome. That's super cool. Ranting, I'm prattling. What? Regidrago is interesting. It is reminiscent of a card that we used to have, Mewtwo Mew GX Tag Team, where you could copy attacks from Pokemon in your discard, I think it was, right? I think it was discard. I don't know. I didn't really play tag teams too much, but you get to copy the attack, and this kind of does something similar. You can't copy any attack you want. You can only copy Dragon type Pokemon that are in your discard. That's okay. There are some extremely powerful Dragon type Pokemon in this game, so we're gonna go ahead, head over to PTCGO, take a look at the deck list, and then we're gonna play a game or two, see how it does. But before we do, if you haven't already, do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of stuff. Does YouTube? This is a good channel. Other people should watch. I'm trying to get through this really quickly because I just want to get through the game. You can tell I'm from New York because I can talk really fast, and it's just I'm excited today. I'm just in a good mood. Let's go to PTCGO, see how the deck functions. The new card we want to look at is Regidrago VSTAR. 280 health. It is a Dragon type Pokemon, so it has no weakness, no resistance, but nothing it hits will be weak to it. It's a trade-off. It's a good one in my opinion. Retreat cost, its raise a little bit annoying, but whatever. We have our one and only attack, Apex Dragon for Double Grass Fire. Choose an attack from a Dragon Pokemon in your discard and use it as this attack. Now, it does not specify that it has to be a Pokemon V. It doesn't specify that it has to be a Stage 1 or a Stage 2 or a Basic, whatever. We can use any Dragon Pokemon that we want and use it as this attack. So that's pretty cool. And I bet in Expanded you could do some wild stuff with this with ADP and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, we're not talking about Expanded. We're here for Standard. So what are our Dragon options in Standard? Well, one that you might want to get familiar with is Duraludon VMAX. Now, we can't use the ability. We don't care about the health. We're just going to talk about the attack. Gmax Pulverization does 220 damage, but you ignore all effects and abilities on your opponent's active Pokemon. So if they got a Miltank in play thinking, oh, you're a Pokemon V or V-Star, you can't hit my Miltank, Gmax Pulverization is going to annihilate that cow. So that's something pretty cool. If there's a Goodra, right? Speaking of Goodra, we have Goodra as an attacker or an attack option here. Rolling Iron says it does 200 damage, and during your opponent's next turn, you take 80 less damage. So we can use Rolling Iron ourselves to do 220 damage and then take 80 less. But if our opponent, or if, whatever, we use Gmax Pulverization, we ignore the fact that they would take 80 less damage, and we do the full 220, which is pretty cool. So if we're going against Goodra in the mirror, against things that have abilities that block attacks, we just ignore them and we just hit right through. And then another attack we have is Giratina VSTAR's Lost Impact for 280 damage. Put 2 energies in play. Doesn't matter where they come from, just 2 energies from your Pokemon to the Lost Zone. So, kind of cool. We just hit really, really hard. If we need to take a big one shot on a Pokemon V-Star, something like that, we're able to do it. And then we have a Stage 2 basic Dragonite. Energy Hurricane for 180 damage. Search your deck for up to 3 basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Shuffle your deck afterwards. The reason why we do this, or we have this, is, yeah, it might not be as much damage as the other stuff, but if we've hit into a V-Star with Rolling Iron, and then the next turn we go ahead and use Energy Hurricane, we could set up another Regidrago on the bench. So this is really nice for like mid to late game. We need another attacker. Boom, there we go, Energy Hurricane. We power up a Regidrago out of nowhere. Our last attacker, or our last dragon type attacker, is Flygon V, and it has the Draconic Impulse attack for 160 damage. And if your opponent's active Pokemon is a VMAX, you do an extra 160 and then discard 3 energy from this Pokemon. So you can hit for 320 with the Choice Belt, you're hitting 350. So if you have to knock out a Pokemon VMAX, you know, Kyurem, Ice Rider, Mew, something like that, we have some options here. And I mentioned Energy Hurricane. Energy Hurricane, I said, is good for the mid to late game, but what about in the very beginning? How do we get 2 grass and a fire onto our first Regidrago? Well, the answer is Arceus V or V-Star. I'm just going to show the V-Star. Trinity Nova does 200 damage for 3 colorless energies, and you get to search your deck for 3 basic energies and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you want, or your Pokemon V in any way you want, I should say. So we use Trinity Nova. Trinity Charge is the same except without damage. So it's 2 energies and you just get the energies, attach them to your V. So we can use Trinity Charge or Trinity Nova to power up our Regidrago at the very beginning of the game, and then use any dragon type attacker we want so that we can really hit super hard. Now, how are we getting all these dragons into our hand and then subsequently to discard? Well, we have a bunch of Evolution Incense and Ultra Balls. Ultra Ball and Evolution Incense will find us the dragon Pokemon that we need, and then we can use Evolution Incense or Ultra Ball and Quick Ball to put them in the discard pile. So other ways we can discard things are the brand new card Serena, which has 2 effects. The first one lets us discard up to 3 cards from our hand to draw until we have 5, or we can use it to boss up a Pokemon V from our opponent's bench. So if we have some dragon type Pokemon we need a discard, we can use Serena to do it. We can also use Professor's Research to discard our entire hand and then draw 7. Really good way of getting a bunch of cards in the discard all at once. Those are the pretty big ways of doing it. Some of the other stuff in here is to kind of help us along the way. We have Pal Pad to recover some supporters. We have Ordinary Rod to recover Pokemon and energy. We probably don't want to recover any of our dragon Pokemon with the exception of Regidrago. So something to keep in mind, we want to keep all these dragon Pokemon in the discard. Echoing Horn is kind of nice because let's say we, just need to take 2 prizes and our opponent only has a 3 prize Pokemon in play. We don't want to use Draconic Impulse for some reason, even though it's an option. We can Echoing Horn, get a Pokemon from the discard, put it onto our opponent's bench, and then play Boss of Serena to bring it into the active and take an easy KO. So pretty nice. We have a Lost City to deal with something like Reggie's, some single prize decks, maybe deal with things like Radiant Charizard that can be kind of annoying, and pretty easily take a one-shot if we aren't hitting with Rolling Iron. And then we have Path to the Peak to try and slow our opponent down from using their abilities. We only have 1 ability in this deck, or we have 2, but we can only use 1 of them. So we can either use Starbirth, which lets us search a deck for any 2 cards we want. It's probably going to be the ability we use. Or we can use Regidrago's V-Star power, Legacy Star, discard 7 cards from the top of your deck, and then choose any 2 cards from your discard and put them into your hand. So one gets you cards from your deck, the other gets you cards from your discard. You choose which one you want to use. You're probably going to use Starbirth. We do have some Choice Belts and an Air Balloon. The Choice Belts are going to let us do 30 more damage to our opponent's Pokemon V. Air Balloon so we can get something out of the active. It's honestly probably just going to be an Arceus, so if we somehow start this Flygon, which I tend to do, we can get it out of the active with an Air Balloon. 4 double turbo, 5 fire, 5 grass. That's going to be enough to power up multiple Regidragos. And then, like I said, we have the Ordinary Rod to get those grass energies back. Do we need 5 fire? No, probably not. In fact, I'm going to reduce it down to 4 and go up to 6. So we're going to do a 4-6. We only need 1, 2 fire, 3 fire at the most. Anyway, that's probably going to be good enough of an explanation. Why do we have Peonia? Well, if we need a Duraludon VMAX to shred through a Miltank, but it's prized, we can play Peonia to swap 3 cards from our hand with 3 of our prizes. We don't have to do all 3, we could do up to 3, but if we are trying to find something early game, we're probably going to want to do 3, and then we can swap them with our prizes to try to find that Duraludon or find whatever it is we need from the prizes, and then boom, there you go. Now we got the card we need. We can discard it and start hitting with Regidrago's Apex Dragon attack. So that's how the deck functions. Let's see if it actually works. So here we go into our first game. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that there are a few ways to build it. Arceus, you could do a Gardenia's Vigor build, and then the last one is a Lost Zone build. But I'm actually not a big fan of the Lost Zone, because then you have to not Lost Zone your energies and your Dragon Pokemon. It just doesn't feel very good to me. This is an interesting hand. I really want to top deck a Quick Ball. We get an Evolution Incense. We're definitely playing either Blissey or Lugia. I guess that's it. We really do need to find a Regidrago V-Star. I would like to not use... Oh, we're playing Zoroark. Okay. That's fine. Because we could just hit super, super hard and just not... Like, we have the option to either tank with Goodra attacks or just knock out immediately with a Giratina attack. So we have some options depending on how many Zoroarks they have in play. If they only have one, then we might just take the KO and force them to be able to set up another one. If they have multiple, probably want to try to tank. There's the V-Guard energy, which doesn't feel very good, but luckily they're gonna damage some of their own Pokemon, which is pretty cool. They're gonna discard a Melanie, draw a few cards with Serena. So they have the Dunsparce, which is gonna protect them against weakness. I personally don't care about that. We're playing Dragon types, so we can get hit by the Dunsparce doesn't do anything. They're going to be able to play Crobat, fill up their hand up to 6, so they get to draw a nice 4 cards. But there's already 4 prizes, 4 easy prizes for us to take. So, I don't really want to play Research right now. The reason I don't want to play Research is because I don't want to lose a lot of my draw and discard potential so early without having other dragons to discard with it. So we, oh god, 2 Regidrago V-Stars. That feels so not cool. But we will be able to, before we Starbirth, we're going to Marnie. Because I definitely don't want to discard my 2 Regidrago V-Stars. Okay. So now, we can Starbirth for an Ultra Ball to get those into the discard. And maybe a Path. I don't have any good draw for next turn, though, which doesn't feel very good. But we're going to do it anyway. I want to really try to slow the Zoroark deck down. I don't want them to be able to do as much. So we'll go ahead and get rid of a Dragonite and a Giratina. So we have some attacks now. We'll get a Regidrago. And we will just Trinity Nova. Go ahead and power up this Regidrago fully. And we'll take just 1 prize. Hopefully it's a good one. Oh my god, that's such a good prize. Such a good prize. Because we could discard all of these and draw 5. Right? Or we could, discard a bunch of them and draw enough. So right now they're only hitting for 130, thanks to, no, they're hitting 150. That's not a double turbo energy, that is a V-Guard energy. So they're hitting 150 at the moment. Hopefully they don't bounce that stadium so they can't use their V-Star power. Choice Belt brings them to 180. I also don't want them to put more Pokemon on the bench and hit pretty hard. But we do need a Regidrago V-Star. Kind of need a Regidrago V-STAR, because then I could just retreat and knock out this in one hit. They have one card left in hand. Okay, so they hit for 230. Not enough to take a KO. We get a Fire Energy. I don't want to get rid of the Path. What does this attack do? 130. Okay, well, this is not great. Kind of got Marnie into a pretty bad hand. They don't have much themselves. So I guess we just Trinity Nova. It doesn't feel very good. Doesn't feel great. And I don't really need to power up anything. I don't want to pull energies out of the deck so that I can use the Dragonite ability next turn, or next Dragonite attack next turn, to power up another Regidrago eventually. But yeah. So I really need to find a V-STAR so that this Regidrago doesn't, this Zoroark doesn't KO me next turn. We get a Quick Ball. Alright, let's Quick Ball away the Rod. We don't have any good... We don't have a Crow... Maybe this deck needs Crobats. Like, all my supporters are in here. I just can't find them. I can't find my Regidragos. 2 of them went to the bottom when I Marnied. So at least now I get to shuffle. Guess we'll just have to slowly start to power this thing up, and we'll put 30 damage onto their Zoroark there. We'll take 2 prizes of our own. Evolution Incense, thank you. That was a little bit of a turn too late, but it's doable still. It's doable still. I really need them to not knock this Regidrago out, is kind of what I need. So just kind of have to hope they just hit with Void Return. Yes, okay. Alright. Does a little bit more damage than I would like it to, but... Oh, yes! What a top deck! What a top deck. Okay, here we go. Now we can power this thing up. We can Serena. We're going to switch one of their Vs. We're going to pull the Zoroark. And now we can hit with Apex Dragon to... Energy Hurricane's probably okay to power up this benched Regidrago. Because they don't have a Zoroark or anything on the bench, so I don't have to worry about... Whew. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Why was I worried? It was Zoroark. I didn't have to worry. We'll try one more game, see how it does. Win or lose, doesn't really matter. I just kind of get to show you how the deck functions. And maybe we need a Lumineon or a Crobat in here so that we can actually, you know, if we're in a tight spot like that, we can draw some cards. This is... Alright, we have the Air Balloon. We have the Air Balloon. That's like the danger of running the Flygon, but what are the odds that you start just the Flygon? Of course, it happens to me, naturally, but, you know. We have the Quick Ball. We don't have a double turbo, though. We get a Regidrago. That's pretty good. We'll get rid of this Echo Horn. We're not going to need it for this matchup. I don't think, anyway. And we are just going to attach to the Arceus. And that's all I can do for now. Luckily, next turn, they're likely not going to be able to knock out my Flygon. Especially now that they attached a metal, not even a DTE, which means they're just getting a Trinity charge off. The Flygon, unfortunately, isn't particularly important in this matchup because they don't have any VMAXs for Flygon to really make use of. But what we can do now is we can Starbirth or we can use Evolution Incense to get a Arceus V Starbirth for a couple of things. Giratina is pretty nice to see. So what are we gonna? Obviously, like I said, we're gonna get the Arceus V-Star. Go ahead. We have to use Starbirth. Perhaps we get a Goodra and a DTE. I won't have anything. I'm gonna take my chance and go like a research. Yeah, we'll do that. Because now I can at least attach the DTE. And I can research away the Giratina. Okay. This isn't terrible. I can get rid of you and you. Those are the two ones that I really needed. The Giratina and the... And what's it called? The... Duraludon. Duraludon to shred through Goodra later. We'll retreat. Attack with Trinity Nova. And now power up our Regidrago here fully. And okay, that was actually a much better turn than I anticipated, because now we have Giratina, which can knock out this Goodra. We have to see what they do. They're very likely going to... I don't know if they Starbirth here. They go with the Goodra. Okay, so they're just going to retreat and attack with the Goodra, which is probably their best bet. We get Marnie first. Okay, having a Serena was kind of nice in case they don't attack with Goodra, because then I can just knock it out. But we do get Boss, so that's good. And we got a... Oh, no, here comes the Goodra. So, we are going to... How do we want to handle this? I'm going to Quick Ball this Pal Pad to get another Regidrago. And then I'm going to boss up the Arceus so they don't have Starbirth opportunity. And power up this other Regidrago. That seems okay. So now I got two Regidragos ready to go. And now I don't need the Dragonite later, so I can just constantly focus on using G-Max Pulverization or eventually something like the Lost Impact. We'll take two prizes. Okay. Getting the DTE is really nice too, because then we can, just hit right. I mean, we don't need to Lost Impact. We can just hit with G-Max Pulverization and probably a Rolling Iron pretty quickly. Pretty easily, and I think that should be enough. But we do get Marnied. Okay, they're not going to boss up our Regis, so that's not a bad thing, right? We want to be able to get the drop on them. And they're attaching to the Aegislash, which is very interesting. But we have the Evolution Incense, so we're okay. We'll go ahead and use the Evolution Incense to get ourselves another Regidrago V-Star. And now, let's look at our discard before we do anything. We do have... Okay. Okay, so we're pretty good there. Let's just Apex Dragon, G-Max Pulverization for a full 220. They're not going to be able to KO us. And then we have the G-Max, the Lost Pulverization, or the Lost Impact. Oh my god, there's so many attack names. Lost Impact. Oh yeah, they have Moisture Star. We don't have Path to the Peak. That's kind of annoying. But they have to two-shot us anyway. So I still think we're okay. I mean, I guess they could Hyper Potion. That would be kind of annoying. Path would have been really nice, but they have such a large hand. They're probably saving the stadium. I should have put it on the other one, actually. Actually, I should have put it on the other one. But that was my mistake. Let's see what they... I mean, they're going to knock this thing out, go down to 2 prizes. Oh, God. Here come... They're definitely going to have 2 Hyper Potions. Because I don't have Marnie or Research or anything. Marnie to, like, get rid of. So they're going to... They have 100 damage. I do 260 with Lost Impact. I mean, I still think I knocked this out with another 220. Right? Another G-Max Pulverization still knocks this thing out unless they find another Hyper Potion. But if they discard 2 energies, they can't attack. Aegislash VMAX. Didn't see that one coming. Okay. That could be probably... How much does this thing do? 30 more for each prize. So they'll have taken 4 prizes. So that's 120. 120 and 160 is 280. That's enough to KO this thing. That's really scary. That's really scary. We are going to attach a DTE. And then just research. Oh boy. Well, all we can do is we have a lot of attack options here. G-Max Pulverization takes the KO here. I have to like really hope that they don't have a Raihan, because we can boss this thing up. It has 320 health, so Lost Impact. Okay, having this in the discard on the bench, starting this actually might have been terrible, because then we could have just bossed it up with Serena and took the KO and win. They're gonna pass. All right, we get a Choice Belt. We don't do enough no matter what to KO. Lost Impact does 283.10. So what we're going to do is we're going to... And they have the Radiant Gardevoir as well. So we're just going to bring this thing up. We're going to Ultra Ball. Just... I guess I have to do 2. We'll do the other Regidrago. We won't get anything. We're just going to get that in the discard. We will attach an energy. And then Apex Dragon. And we can go with Dragon Energy Hurricane. I guess it doesn't really matter too much, right? We're going to go with Rolling Iron. Now we'll take 80 less damage. So hopefully they're not able to KO us now. Unless they escape our boss. I mean, I haven't done the Serena. Okay. Okay. They can't Hyper Potion this thing. Unless they... Okay, so they have 60 damage on it. 40 damage on it. Okay. 40 damage means they have 280 to 300. We're going to Serena it again. And do we have any energies in the discard? We have a bunch of stuff in the... We do. Alright. How many Hyper Potions are they down? That's 2. They're down 3 double turbos. We're just gonna Rolling Iron again. Rolling Iron. And that, I mean, they can do this only a finite number of times, right? Before they're not able to make a play anymore. They can only attach DTE Hyper Potion this thing so much. I kind of wish I didn't have the DTE. Oh, they just concede. Yeah, okay. So there you have it. Arceus with Regidrago. If you are looking to be a Dragon-type master, if you're looking to be the next Lance, Lance could have been a good inclusion in this, because you can just get to search a deck for 3 Dragon cards. Not a bad idea. Anyway, that just came to me. I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. If you're looking to play something that just has a wide variety of attacks, Arceus Regidrago might be a decent option. Of course, you can always make some changes to the deck, and I encourage you to do so, but that's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, found it informative. If you did, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Arceus Regidrago and what changes to the deck you would make. I want to hear, because I still want to learn too, but that's going to do it. Thanks so much, and I will see you next time.